Hi Rebecca, how you doing?
Hello, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm all right. I can't believe it's Easter though.
I know, it's crazy really, isn't it?
Yeah. Did you get any eggs?
Yeah, I got a few. I haven't opened them yet though.
Oh, you're
They've
so...
been quite good.
Yeah, Vince got me one, but I didn't really want to go to the shops to go and get an egg, obviously, because I didn't want to just go to the shops for that. So we shared it. I took the chocolates out of the egg and gave them him as
Oh,
Easter present.
that's nice of you.
I know.
You shared.
I tried. I tried. So anyway, this is, for anybody who's watching, this is my lovely niece Rebecca, and Rebecca is 15 years old, and I've watched Rebecca's journey through obviously the last 15 years and have been a part of her world as far as makeup's concerned. And this week what I wanted to do was give some people some ideas of some of the areas where makeup touches our life. So one of the things that I did was spoke about pre-teens with Louise the other day. So that's on Simply Changing website. You could watch that. But it got me thinking, and I thought I needed to talk to some teenagers about what their experience is. And I've spoken to some teachers as well from different schools. But Rebecca and I got talking, and it's quite interesting, isn't it, Rebecca, what we covered the other day?
I know, I didn't realise actually how much there is to, how in depth you can go.
I know.
Thinking about the little aspect of makeup really.
Can you remember your first product that you brought?
Yeah, I was actually thinking about this the other day. I loved lip glosses. I just loved it. Anywhere I was in the house, I would just put some on, and even I would always wear it when I went out for like a meal or just seeing friends, family.
Yeah,
that was probably my first makeup, I'd say, just lip gloss.
Did it have a flavour to it, or?
Probably some strawberry,
Yeah, some fruit kind of flavour. Was it like a rollerball?
No, it was actually like a little tube, I think I had like the squeezy ones, or the ones with a little stick.
How old do you think you were?
Probably we're about 7.
Right.
7,
And when you got that product, I guess you were with your mum at the time.
Yeah, we went into the shop.
Yeah. And did you put it on straight away?
Yeah, I mean, we were testing them in the shop, and then as soon as I got back in the car later, I was putting it on in the mirror. Yeah, I loved it.
I think my first product that I brought, I think I was about, well, obviously other than sort of like rummaging in my mum's makeup bag, I think I was about 14, and I remember going into Boots and I was absolutely terrified, and I'd got some sort of pocket money, and I just walked up to the first counter, and the lady on the counter sold me this really, I'm not kidding you, like fluorescent pink blusher that I think if I was using it now, I still wouldn't have used it all up. It was so bright, and the idea was, and I mean, I am talking the 1980s here, which obviously was a key sort of colour then, the sort of two-tone colours for anyone who remembers that era. And yeah, that was the first thing that I ever brought. But I do remember making me feel as if I'd become an adult, because I brought this. I'd achieved something.
You feel more grown up.
Yeah, definitely. So that was then, and then basically I remember we did a pamper party, didn't we, for your birthday? And
we did, yeah.
Like 7, 8 years old.
Yeah, I think it's for my 8th birthday, was it? Yeah.
And you invited your friends round, and what's really important to me for that age group is to do it age specific. So I do cover makeup, but what I don't do is let the attendees of that pamper party take over my makeup box, which is what I would obviously do with teenagers and adults. They would choose the colours. So it's very important to me that they don't choose bright red lipsticks and really like quite intense colours. And then what I did was I came up with this idea of obviously including things that made you feel good, which was, do you remember the pink dressing gowns and the foot spas and
yeah, slippers, pink slippers,
and magazines?
Yeah, all the chairs as well.
And at the time, how did that make you feel?
Oh, it made you feel like it definitely wasn't, you know, it just felt as if I was in a spa. I was so grown up, you know.
Yeah.
I was doing things with my mum. I've seen my mum go on, you know, weekends away with her friends, and I was kind of doing the same thing with my friends.
In your kitchen?
Yeah, literally, I didn't feel as if I was in my kitchen.
So it does prove a point that when we look now at the YouTube videos that are out there where we've got 5-year-olds doing full range professional makeup, it does show you that makeup can be part of your life at a young age, and it can be fun, but it doesn't need to be totally intense, does it?
No, definitely not, no.
So that got you off hopefully to a good start in life. And then what age do you think you were where influencers came into your life? Now this could be moms, aunties, dads, it could be YouTube videos, books. What age do you, or can you think of anything in particular, apart from obviously having your auntie as a makeup artist, but can you think of anything in particular that sort of like hit you that thought, that is a really good idea, I really want to try it?
I think actually it must have been about probably 10, 11. I started watching, you know, probably like the TV on the background.
Remember?
Pardon?
You can say the names if you can remember them.
To be honest, I can't really, but I was watching more, but you know, just like TV in the background with, you know, reality people. I guess that, you know, they were interested in hair and makeup, and and then I probably started watching YouTube then as well.
And there was
that's probably the age.
Was the moments that made you go, that's really nice, she looks lovely, she's wearing too much makeup, or she could wear a bit more makeup? Do you think we've become quite judgmental about makeup now?
Yeah, I do. I think that when I was that age, you know, I didn't look at people if they were wearing a lot and thought, oh, they're wearing quite a lot, they need to not wear as much, or, you know, the other way around. I think, but especially, you know, I'd say times like today, I think has been quite judgmental. You know, are you wearing too much? Are you not wearing enough? You know, are you different from people because of you apply it differently? Or
yes, there's almost like that kind of like you put into like a category, aren't you? If you wear makeup, don't wear makeup, or you wear too much makeup, which is a shame really, because makeup ultimately gives people confidence and self-esteem, and that's really what we're trying to do. But I think where it just seems to go a little bit wrong somewhere, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it is almost as if you are sectioned into, you know, you don't wear a lot, or you don't wear any.
So what I feel is that it all comes down to, with a lot of things, which is training, isn't it? How you learn things.
Yeah, definitely.
But you can get books and you can get videos, and you can obviously come to one of my workshops, and we can do an online workshop and well. But do you think it's important that perhaps what we should be doing more is focusing on the individual rather than the products?
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, every product is going to look different on everybody. The same product will look different on me, to you. I think also the way, especially, you know, if people come to you, for example, you make it personal to them, you know,
Yeah.
it's how much you want to spend, what colours you like, rather than if you go into a shop, it's quite overwhelming. It's, you know, I think it's completely different
Yeah.
being told also what to buy as well.
So have you ever watched, say, a YouTube video and thought that looks really easy to use, or I really think I need that in my life, or I love the packaging, or it looks the right price, and then gone into the shop and have a whole different experience?
Yeah, I mean, I think the way I probably know about quite a lot of makeup, or, you know, hair things or whatever, is by influencers talking about it, whether it's good or not, it doesn't matter, you know, they're talking about it, it seems to be amazing.
Yeah.
I think I've definitely had experiences where you see something, especially online, or they've spoke about something, and you go into that personal shop or any, you know, department store, and you buy it, or you go to buy it, and it's completely different.
Yeah. I should imagine, like, for the fact that a lot of girls at the age of, 7 to 15 are watching these videos,
Yeah.
they don't really have the disposable income, do they?
No, I mean, you know, that's their job. That's what they spend their money on. That's the only money people really have between those ages, is pocket money,
Hmm.
Christmas and birthday, you know.
So for me personally, I always try and teach people, like, I wear 4 or 5 items of makeup. Do you think,
Yeah.
I mean, I've possibly influenced you with how you do things, but there's a point there to be made, isn't it? Which is like how little makeup you can use rather than how much makeup you have to use.
Yeah, I think it's obviously personal preference as well, but, you know, you have influenced me, I suppose, by, you know, you don't need tons and tons of different products, you know, if you get told something's amazing on someone else, you know, it might not work for your skin, for example, and that's completely fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's kind of, I think it should be talked about more, how you don't need, you know, 15 different products, you know, to
Yeah.
create the same look, as if you have less as well.
I mean, that sort of speaks volumes, doesn't it? Because when we said we'd come and have a chat on the phone today, I'm doing some videos later today, which is why I've done my hair and I'm in this position and what have you. But I said when we'd catch up on the video call today and thought we'd try and record a little bit of it, you've just turned up and you've got no makeup on. Whereas I know there's certain girls out there that if I asked them and said, like, can we just do a little bit of video call to sort of share our experience, I know there would be a lot of makeup applied. So
Yeah.
up to the current day, you're 15 and you're kind of like, you're just on the tail end of school, aren't you? You're sort of like, you're coming up to those years where you're going to be jumping from school life soon to, going out there into the academies and basically then going out into the world of getting a job and everything. But can you remember when you started your secondary school? Is it your secondary school? Is that what you call it?
Yeah, secondary school.
So can you rewind it now to perhaps being about 11 years old, and when you started that school, was it then that you felt under pressure to wear makeup, or was you still feeling comfortable to go without?
Well, me personally, I didn't wear any in year 7. I didn't feel any pressure either from, you know, people at school, my friends, and nobody. And I think possibly looking back, I don't think many of the people did either. I think year 7 is probably a bit of more focused on settling in than possibly what you look like for some people.
Okay. So then you were in the first year and obviously everything was fine and you felt comfortable, and then you have your school holiday and then you come back and you're in that second year of that school. would that break away from school, do you felt you grew up in that particular year and felt that makeup then became a part, or was you still feeling the same?
I mean, possibly I was more aware of it and noticed, other people possibly wearing it. I think, as you go out with your friends and things in the holidays, you might put some on. So then maybe the reality of going back to school is like, oh,
Yeah.
I kind of need to wear some, or,
And I suppose you'd be coming up to sort of like 11, 12, 13 years then. And I think there's a lot of changes in your skin, isn't it? Because I think you find your skin changes. It's a time when perhaps you might get a few blemishes.
Yeah.
You might be looking at boyfriends and girlfriends and sort of starting to think, and you start perhaps looking at yourself a little bit more and taking interest in yourself. Whereas perhaps when you were younger, the most important thing was what you were eating. It wasn't perhaps
Yeah.
so a big thing. And that goes with your hair, doesn't it, and your clothes. I think you just tend to start to become at that age a little bit more interested. And I always remember your mom saying about she couldn't make choices for you anymore. There was a big difference, as in, like, especially when it came to Christmas and birthdays, she couldn't buy you those presents anymore in advance because there was that rejection factor, because you felt like you had a choice.
Yeah, I think also, you kind of grow to what you like. You notice things that you don't like, maybe especially for girls if they have a close relationship with their mum, or even boys as well. But you kind of used to like everything the same, or they would pick everything for you, but you seem to realise, oh, I don't actually like that, but they do. So I think it goes with clothes, makeup, just your style, really.
And then there starts to be that thing that's almost like, if your mum likes it, is it cool for you to like it? And if you like it, is it cool? Whereas you've gone down this same journey for such a long time, you actually start separating a bit, don't you? And having your own point of view, whether it's TV programs or anything, you start to sort of like decide that you do different things. And this is where I truly believe with makeup that the challenges and the changes come at the age of 13, 14, that if you've actually took interest in actually those makeup influencers and those ideas, when they become influenced, you have the greatest opportunity, should they do something that you don't particularly like, in influencing them and in another way. And you've got a really close relationship with your mum, haven't you?
Yeah, I think, but I mean, even though I'm still very close with my mum. I think, part of growing up as well is, you have your own opinion, you see things differently, and like you said, if your mum likes it and you like it, it's kind of sways you to not liking it as much, because why is it that you both like it?
Yeah, it does make a difference, doesn't it? So obviously not specifically talking about anybody here, but in general, if you were to see somebody and they was wearing makeup, and for example, they get the orange line here, does it make you feel a bit uncomfortable to say to that person you need to blend it in a little bit? Or
I mean, maybe if it was someone, I knew quite well, I wouldn't really have a problem. I'd just say, just make sure you blended it a bit, or, but I think with makeup, it seems to become a bit more difficult to tell people, not even in a negative way, or you trying to help them a positive. With makeup, it does seem to kind of change a bit. If you didn't like something someone was wearing, or you wouldn't buy it yourself, but with makeup, you kind of, it does.
It's really personal, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I don't know whether that's because it's physically on their skin.
Possibly.
I don't know whether it's something to do with that. And I mean, obviously, you've had scenarios where you've had to wear a lot of makeup because you used to do a lot of dancing, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously with lights and everything, you have to wear quite a bit. So, you know, you have to wear strong, very strong eye makeup and especially lips as well. So you don't, you know, fade. But yeah, I think that's the kind of turning point, especially, you know, a lot of people when they do stage in particular, you know, you have to wear quite a lot. I think makes you realize how much makeup you can wear, you know, you can put on your face, you can make your face change quite a lot by makeup.
And I guess when you're watching like Strictly Come Dancing and stuff like that, you know that what we see and what they're wearing is two different things, isn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, you look completely different on the stage and all the lights and everything to you would in just your normal mirror as well.
Mm. And you see, of course, this is where all the heavier makeup has come from, because obviously from an internet point of view, you know, this heavy makeup is used for that. But it's like me, when I do a wedding, the biggest thing that I have to achieve is I have to achieve a really good look for when it's on the camera. So, for example, I know looking at myself now, it doesn't look like I'm wearing a lot of makeup, but I know I am wearing makeup.
Mhm.
And yet when they walk down the aisle, you want to make sure they don't look like they're wearing lots of makeup either. So you've just got to find that sort of happy medium, really. I know, obviously, from your twin brother Thomas, we were chatting the other day, and I think one of the people that tend to notice probably girls wearing makeup and probably might think about what they're wearing is boys, isn't it? Because I think when boys see girls wearing a lot of makeup, it's they don't necessarily like it.
No, I think also if girls actually did ask boys, for example, I think a lot of girls would be quite shocked. I think it's kind of seen for some people, the more makeup you wear, the nicer you look. Where I know from boys' opinions, you know, they actually say less is better, you know, the more natural.
Mm.
Yeah.
I would definitely say, from doing this for over 3 decades, the majority of people prefer people without makeup, but the person who's wearing that makeup prefers themselves with makeup. So it's
Mm.
really very, which is why I like doing workshops where you've got more than one person there, which is your friends or your family members or whatever it is, because it's not me saying, I think you look better with or without. They actually turn around and say, I can actually see you now, can see what you look like. So I think the trick is to be able to wear makeup that you can't really see, really. So we've touched on obviously a bit of pre-teens, then we've touched on a bit of sort of moving to the next school. We've touched on a little bit of perhaps about what other people think about people wearing makeup. But how would you say, from an age of like a 15-year-old now, you would like to learn skills on how to put makeup on? Is it important to, you know, is it a book or is it online or?
Yeah, I think well, personally, for me, I think a visual is so much better. I think also making it a bit like personal and kind of just, you know, making it more easy for the other person trying to do it. And I think myself, I'd find a visual better than reading out of a book, for example. But, you know, I think that's just because everyone interprets things differently.
Yeah, I think the other thing as well for me is that you don't get an instruction book when you buy a cosmetic product, do you?
No.
So it's this
I
kind of like you buy the product and then it's kind of like you're expected to know how to use it. So would you say that the skills of putting makeup on is probably more important than the products?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think, like you said, you just get given a product. How you apply it is completely up to you. Um, you know, obviously with makeup, there's no rules necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
However, being told how to apply it the best for your skin, or, you know, just the best to make your, say, if it's an eye product, to make your eyes pop, you know, to make it stand out for you.
Mm-hmm.
I think definitely a visual
is better to do. So with this crazy world that we're in at the moment, obviously what I would love to do is take Rebecca and sort of like do a lesson and be able to show. But what we had a chat about earlier is us literally doing a lesson online, or parts of a lesson, and recording a little bit of it, so that people then could see how easy we could do it online and how I could help a few people. So are you still up for it, Rebecca?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely.
So Rebecca lives some 50 miles away from me, so it's not a case of me being able to ship a load, well I could do but I won't, ship a load of products down to Rebecca. So we're literally going to use the stuff that's inside Rebecca's makeup bag, and we'll get it organised and perhaps just go through some of the basics, because what I'm really keen to do is to reach out to as many people as I can to do these online workshops, which can take probably the best part of an hour maybe, but we can break it down. They're achievable, they're fun. It means you can stay in your home and you can learn some new skills, and you can do it with a couple of you in front of the screen. I'm not going to sort of turn around and say there's only one at a time. So that would be really good to do. So have you got any more thoughts about anything, Rebecca?
Any more thoughts?
On about makeup?
About makeup? Not really. I think we've covered quite a bit. I mean, I think it's just the kind of message that I've definitely learned from you. You know, just, well, obviously growing up with you, being there, I think it's just every person's different, and each makeup product will work differently on everybody. So don't be disheartened, you know, if, you know, you see say for instance, a brow product, you know, if you see it on someone else and then you put it on, it doesn't look the same, you know, it's not going to. So yeah. I think that's always kind of stuck by me, really.
And I think inner beauty is the biggest thing, isn't it? I think a lot of people just need to learn that your inner beauty comes from here and it comes out. And I think if you smile and if you're pleasant and, you know, you enjoy and you try and pass on that positive message to people that you meet, I think that is just so beautiful. That makeup really is just a part of it.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot of things you can do yourself, you know, to make you more attractive if you think you need to do that.
Yeah. Do you know what? Making someone laugh or making someone smile, I think, is the most beautiful thing that you can do.
Yeah, definitely. Just smiling.
So anyway, I think we've chatted for a little bit, and we'll carry on talking.
Yeah.
I just wanted to share that little bit with everybody, just to say how makeup plays a part in the preteen and teenager world, and to pass on a positive message. It's your decision whether you do or you don't wear makeup. Perhaps one of the things that I've learnt is basically don't be scared about asking other people what they think. And, you know, some people might give you positives and some people might give you negatives, but do whatever you want to do, but just be aware that a lot of people probably might like to see you with a little bit less makeup.